Okay, so I guess it would be time for the first official. This is number one of the rambling. It's just the rambling, not random rambling anymore or anything like that. And just a little bit of an intro, since this is kind of supposed to be a little bit of a different format, because as I already said you in my last kind of first or something like that video, it will be a little bit different from now on. Because I won't make any post editing. Whatever you see right now is the thing that will go up on, because I will use OBS with my camera here, record it and then just upload it as it is. But so that you completely lose out on some things, for example, I will show you here the topics just so you can see them, and maybe in the future I will find actually a keyboard that I won't have to look back, but this is just for that, and I will show the topics just in a few seconds ago. But I wanted to start with the intro, and let's actually leave it like that so you can see the topics, but the actual times for that will be found in the description, because I can't tell you now where it will be in terms of time, because I don't know yet anything either. So these are the topics that I'm planning to do, but see this little bit of with a grain of salt, because at the end it will be seen down. And another thing, the microphone will be pretty much up in my face, but I don't think anyone will be bothered by that. But this is the only way for me to keep a little bit of the audio higher, because some people told me that in my, for example, live Q&As, that the volume is weaker, and I know that because usually I boost my videos in terms of audio afterwards, but since I can't do anything afterwards, I have to get it louder, and I can't crank up the microphone anymore because I would get clipping. So I hope this works kind of good enough. At least I am a good amount closer to the cam. So what else? What I wanted to actually do in the new ramblings, start off every video not with this intro, because this is just for the first one, but give you a little bit of an update about the channel. So what's actually going on right now, what review units are here, what reviews are coming up, what's around the channel. So that I will try to make this quick, only always for the week in that the review, and I will try, or the rambling, and I will try to put it out every Friday as good as I possibly can, because since I work in 3 shifts, that's not always possible to get it right now. But I will try my best to get it out on Fridays, because it's not Saturday anymore because of the live tech Q&A, and I don't want to make 2 of these videos on the same day, because I still will sometimes on Friday or on Saturdays as well release a review, like for example today, because I'm just about to do this, and during the upload I will make the review of the Sony Xperia XA. So to give you actually this quick overview of what's going on the channel, just in terms of review units, like I said already, Sony Xperia XA, the P9 Lite for a revisited review is up, then a comparison, a quite in-depth one planned with the Idol 4, then I will get the Dell Inspiron 15, the one like with the yoga design. I should have already gotten that, but it didn't work out because another reviewer was smart enough to have an Inspiron and a Latitude device and package them in the wrong packages, so I didn't get that. And what else? I actually got, you can see those, the first 2 headset for my comparison. Actually should have been already free, but something went wrong, because for some reason, even though the pricing was always right on the order that I made, I got one item, the Cloud 2, twice. Funny thing, since it's the 2, I got that twice, and the one here, let me quickly get that. As you can see here, these are the Cloud Revolver, so the successor. Because what I wanted to do is, I wanted to have a kind of reference, because I know the Cloud 2 are a very popular headset, and a lot of people are using that, and they are super happy with that, and I never got to try that. So that is kind of the reference. Then to see if the Revolver is any better or not, and I won't spoil anything yet. And then the third one was planned to get was, that was wrong, but that was planned to me was the Razer Manowar. So I hope to get that soon, and maybe if I can make it in time, if I get that as well, the Logitech G933. So that's what's upcoming. The Xperia X Performance will be coming, and the Alcatel Pop 4S. So that's just what I have in mind. Next time I should actually make a list, so I actually know what will be coming or not. But that's it for that. You have seen the topics. I can get rid of that, but no, I actually need them for my own. Okay, so this was the intro with the first things the update. This will be always the first part, and we are already 4 minutes in. I will try to keep these videos a little bit shorter than usual, maybe, but if not, then they are longer. I don't have a problem with that, as long as you don't have, because I actually thought about making this live like on 45 or 1 hour show every week, but I think that's too much and nobody would really want to see that, and I'm not quite sure if I could keep that up in terms of upload and all that, but okay. First topic, misconception of a YouTuber. What I get so many times is that people have a little bit of a wrong conception of a YouTuber, because this was something that I realized this week at work, because we got a new colleague. I know him, but he was at my workplace, and from another colleague he found out that I actually do YouTube videos and I review device, because they noticed that I have like a new device or a new phone like every week. And man, it was so odd to hear from someone what he thinks of what a YouTuber does or what a tester does. Because first of all, he asked me, so how does this work? They send you stuff and to review, and I said, no, first of all, you need to contact them. No one will contact you unless you are already super big. And he thought, oh, okay, how does that work? I said, yeah, first of all, you need to get your contacts, which is not always easy, because sometimes you just have to call the brands or email the brands and then have luck, and maybe, or the press agents, whatever you can find it. Finding these contacts isn't quite a hard part, because if I would have more press agencies on hand where I would know which one has what, I think I would have already gotten more brands, because the press agencies on its own are very, I would say, nice, and they are very open to give you stuff. Not all the ones, not like Corsair, for example, or SteelSeries. They give me a hard time, but... And then he said, yeah, and that's cool. You have like a new phone like every week, and all you have to do is use it a little bit and then make a video. I said to him, no, it's definitely not that easy, because first of all, you can't just use it like you would use your phone normally. You have to make certain tests. You have to get a kind of pattern, so you have always a consistent brightness of a device, the use for the battery life, the camera, and performance, and there on audio. There are so many things that you have just to keep in mind, because if I would just use it normally as my phone and then just tell you what I think, a lot of people would complain not getting the information that they want. And some reviewers can actually do this, just kind of experience reviews. But at least that's not ever what I wanted to do, and if I would start doing something like that, this would not work out. So that was also hard to see. And then he asked, so how much money do you make? And I told him actually it was wrong. I told him like at the moment 400 euros a month, which is actually completely wrong, because I usually made like, for the best part of this year, it started to get like 200 to close to 300. It just for the last 2 months bumped up to close to 400, but that was just dollars, and I already got that wrong. In euros, it's a lot less, and then I didn't even have to pay, didn't get to pay the taxes yet, so it's a lot less. So let's say even now, where I'm already a little bit better, yeah, and that sounds weak, it's like maybe, let's say 300 at the end of the day, because I also have to pay for the shipping back, and all this is something that adds up and gets less from my revenue. And then he said, when we were still talking about the 400, he said, that's cool, 400 euros just for your hobby, and you just have to make a video. And then another colleague who actually knows how much work I put into it, or at least a little bit more knows into it, he said, no, it's not that, because just look at the time he spends into it. If I would make a second job, I would make a lot more money. Or if I would just go, for example, like 2 times in a month, work on Sunday, which I could most of the times, I would make more than that easily just on those 2 days that I do on the whole month. But he said, yes, in the end, it's your hobby, you do it for fun, and it's nice that you get something back. And that is the end spirit, because I definitely wouldn't make it for the money, because all the money that I make, it's not that I keep it, I invest it in something else, because right now already I'm thinking about getting another capture card so I can start with the live reviews that I would really like to try out, because this is kind of the next step that I want to approach, because there are so many people always kind of doing the same, but I always do minor subtle changes, because I don't want to get bored by it, and the live reviews is something that I would like to try, but therefore I need a second capture card. And that is something that I have to pay off as well. It costs about 170 euros once again. So already the revenue for the next month is gone, and I would like to have a new graphics card at some point and all that. So it's definitely hard to see, because also on some a few times in the live tech Q&A, people told me I would like to have I would like to be a review as well, because then you have like review units all the time to test. But you always have to think about how much work it is to review the stuff, make the reviews, then deal with the comments, because the reply on the comments is something that takes up a lot of time as well. And that's just, people underestimate. They just think they have the device and can play with it. It's not that easy. Even if you just do it as a hobby, you have to kind of stick to a pattern. Okay, that's the first thing. Second topic, early reviews. This is something that considers me, but I completely misjudged the situation, because I always thought it is just important to be the first. If you are the first at something or very early, then you already get a high amount of views. And I noticed that this didn't work out, because this year, for the last 2 or 3 months, I started to get a few devices earlier, because I got the Sony Xperia X quite early, and I got something like the Idol quite early. And yes, I get a little bit more views than I would usually get on these kind of videos, because I was quite early. But it didn't make nearly that impact that I thought. So in the end, it seems to be kind of, you need the following. You kind of need a certain quality, because maybe just many people just watch or break into the video, just check it on really quickly, and they say that's not something for me. So it seems that I misjudged it. I thought if I would just make early reviews, I already will bump up in the amount of views, subscribers, and all that, and it didn't work out. This was something that it was hard to see, because I always blamed the one thing that what is holding me back to grow further is that I just get the review units too late. But getting them earlier did not nearly get the effect that I expected to get. So this is really, really sad to see. And I got my confirmation. I will get a new contract for the last headset that I didn't get. Okay, most common used tech, or most used tech. I didn't quite know what to call it, because what I wanted to actually do already a few times is make a video of me and presenting you my most common tech. But I thought it's okay if I just do it as a rambling topic. And here is the question for you. What is your, let's say, 3, or maybe bump it up to 5 if you want to, most common used tech that you use on a daily basis, that you use pretty much besides the phone? Because of course the phone will be the number one. But if I would have to do that, and I'm just speaking generally in terms of tech, and not, because if I would exclude the YouTube stuff, there wouldn't be much left, because I pretty much use all the tech for YouTube in some way. So I will stick it with the YouTube as well, but without the phone. So here, my number one of the most used tech, I think, is my iPad Air 2, because I use the tablet a lot. Late at bed or early when I wake up at bed, I had it by my side. I watch YouTube videos on there. I watch my podcasts, sometimes something like that. And I use it even now at the moment here to monitor my video. So that is one of the most common, and this is definitely something that paid off. It costed me like 400 euros or 350. I'm not even quite sure how much I paid, but I use it on a daily basis, and I couldn't be without that. Not saying that it's the iPad Air 2 that didn't work. I could have a really good Android tablet as well, and I'm actually thinking about getting maybe one, a little bit cheaper one, just here for the monitoring, because it's annoying for me to have always be sure that it's charged, and just for the monitoring here. So a cheaper little Android tablet would be quite fine. I even thought of getting an iPad Air 2 mini, or the mini, but it's way too expensive, so not gonna happen. So what's the next thing? I would say my PC, definitely, because without that I wouldn't be able to get my reviews done. Of course, my laptop is one of the things but that's not that used that frequently also, actually, since I've reviewed it. The camera, of course, my Panasonic G7, I wouldn't be able to make a review. Of course, I could also then note the Panasonic VX878, and in that regard also the Rode NT-USB, because that's a whole combo. And so I would say the camera gear would be number 3 for me. So number 1, definitely the tablet, because I use that also outside of YouTube. Number 2 would be the PC, because without that I couldn't edit. But without the video gear, I couldn't make the video to edit. So these would definitely be my number 3. Outside of maybe YouTube, I would actually say that my actually kind of broken at the moment right now, Deno Envia Mini Bluetooth speaker is one of the most common ones, because if I watch a TV show on my tablet or something, I do it with that. So let me know what are yours on a daily basis. So next topic. We are at 40 minutes still. Okay. Ben Affleck as Batman. I just watched like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I watched Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, and I watched actually, and that was a mistake, the extended version that was 3 hours long. I'm not quite sure how long the actual version was. I guess like 240, 230. something like that. And I have to say that I really enjoyed, and I'm not judging the video, the movie here itself. That's not the part here. But I wanted to talk about Ben Affleck as Batman, and I think he really, really, really impressed me because I liked the way that he presented or what he made out of Batman. I just liked it. I'm not quite sure what else to say about that. I'm definitely looking forward to his next solo movie just for Batman, because if I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really like any Batman before. The old ones, not at all. Then of course we had who was the one? Of course we had, let's forget George Clooney. The one before, I just can't remember his name anymore. And even Christian Bale, I didn't really like him as Batman. I didn't really think he translated him well. And then his odd voice and the movies on its own, I didn't like so much either. What I liked was The Dark Knight in terms of the Joker, but the story was quite cheap. I didn't really find it interesting. And the other two, I didn't like them, but I definitely liked what I've seen in Batman v Superman. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, and I think this could be the first one that I enjoy because I like the costume, I like the way he works with the just modulated voice and not the kind of forced hard voice. Next topic, Charlie Hunnam as King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, I think it's called. I just saw the trailer, and I usually absolutely hate watching trailers, but I just had to see that one because I'm a huge Charlie Hunnam fan ever since Sons of Anarchy, and I just couldn't resist. And actually, it was like 3 or 4 or let's say 5 seconds in the trailer, I already noticed something's going on because I didn't really know anything about the movie, because I knew there was a Charlie Hunnam King Arthur coming, but I didn't know anything besides that. And the first sequence, just watch the first sequence, I already noticed something is going on. That is a very modern but very interesting style. And then I read during the trailer Charlie Hunnam as King Arthur, and then I saw Guy Ritchie, and at that moment I was completely blown away because we have 3 awesome things here. The interesting story of King Arthur, a little bit in a different way this time, because usually it's always the same Excalibur, blah blah blah, blah, fight king and all that. But now we have it with Charlie Hunnam, that I think is a great actor. Now finally back with his actually British accent, which I definitely will enjoy in the movie, and then directed by one of the best ones ever, Guy Ritchie. I think if you have seen Snatch, or if you have seen, I don't know his first movie. I don't know the English original title. I know it's in German because I still back then saw that one in German, was Bube Dame König Gras, and maybe someone will post it in the comments. I could check it. It's like Snatch 0.5, because it was kind of the first one, that, and Snatch was kind of not a sequel, but in a very similar way. And these 2 movies, he proved me that he can do such a great movie. And then Revolver. If you have seen Revolver, it's one of the most fucked up movies with the weirdest story, and I know so many people that just didn't get it, just didn't like it. And I already, they also thought to me sometimes, you don't even get it. How can you enjoy it? And I say, yo, I maybe didn't get it, but I enjoyed the hell of it. So I am looking forward to that. And the last point today, and yes, it was quite movie, cinema, TV show driven, but this will change. This was just what was up, and maybe a few things will come up. But not to make this any longer. Suits. The new season has started. I think it's season 5, 6, I don't even remember correctly, but man, has it started well. Because I'm not gonna spoil anything on the new series, but on the new show, but if you have watched the last season where Chris Ross, the younger guy, I never really actually bother about the names. I know that Spectre, but not Ross. Yeah, you know, this is the second lead guy, and he was going to prison, and the company was actually kind of going broke. And what I expected it to be, that they would make kind of 2-year jump and then him getting back on its feet. But what they actually decided to do is play along with at least here at the beginning of just 2 episodes, that he is in prison and the company is going down, and they have to live both with that. And it's a really different aspect because we don't really have the same things that we've seen in the past. And I definitely enjoyed the last season already so much, and this one I think will start even better. And if it can keep the level of the second part of the last one, it will be magnificent, because this is one of the shows that I've said already so many times, there is no show with a stronger acting cast throughout the whole show. Only Rachel isn't maybe that well, but I can get past that. But Spectre, Jessica, Litt, and I know those names, Louis Litt, they all make such a great job, and just because of that, and of course with the really strong, smart plot, I enjoyed the hell out of the series, and I wanted to share that with you. And this would have been it, the end. Let me know if you like the new format. Of course, it will change, and the next times, don't worry, it will be more about tech again. But I wanted to address, because this is the rambling. It doesn't have to be, it's not the tech rambling, it's not something else, it is rambling, whatever comes up in my mind. And this was just what was coming up in my mind at this particular week. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the new format. At least we are back on the new camera angle, and that is what you will typically see, because yes, I got my new 5 meter or 15 feet long HDMI cable, so I can actually have it at my normal position and not have to have the weird one. But I think it's okay. The microphone, I hope the sound was better today. I didn't actually even check it, but I'm going to upload this now and make the review of the Sony Xperia X8 now. Until next time, bye. Yeah, why I'm smiling, not like I'm finishing the video, because it's finished. Wait for it.